Today, I would like to talk about work. We see work as something that we get money for, which is a complete fucking illusion. And I'm going to try to be as philosophical today as possible in order to get the virtue of what I'm saying across to your psyche. We've been so confused as he's taken the slave role because life is just a game, and in order to play a game, you have to have roles. And we've all been obsessed with trying to become slave owners that we don't realize that we're stuck in the position of being a slave. Now, this relates back to work because the primary job of a slave is to work, and the primary job of a slave owner is to organize the work of the slave. In today's world, we have a big confusion about what it means to be a slave. Being a slave does not mean that you walk around with shackles on, doing what the fuck everybody tells you to do. On the contrary, it means the complete opposite. It means that you don't do what you tell yourself to do, simply. Um, Being a slave is not necessarily a bad thing. You might want to be a slave to yourself. If you were talking about being a slave in that context, then it's right. But we are work slaves, which basically means that you spend your whole life working for something. You never know what it is. It could be anything, but you're just working. Now, with the definition of work set out, you would be able to actually tell what you're working for. But we all have this very vague sense of what the word work means. Now, work can be defined based on the person who's using the word. If you are using the word as a scientist, you would say that work equals force times distance. If you're using the terms as a um, boss at a job, you would say that work is just, somebody coming in. Work is a tool for you. Um, if you are a teacher, work is a piece of paper, okay? In reality, work is nothing more than what you spend your time on to come to an outcome, okay? Without all the little European English words to confuse you. Now, with this definition of work, you will understand that you would have to have a goal in order to work for something, okay? If you do not have a goal, you cannot work, simply put. The outcome in which you are working towards would motivate you to do it continuously. It would motivate you to continue working. If you have no goal, you're simply wasting your life. Now, this is very important considering we live in a society in which work has no defined meaning. How can you even have a goal to even work for if you don't have a definition for the term work? Meaning that we all are just wasting our lives putting in effort into things we have no clue of what the outcome will be, which is a very destructive um, habit to have, to simply walk around putting effort into things that you have no idea what the outcome will be. You could be putting effort into something that's going to destroy your family in a year, and you can consciously be doing this, you feel me? But you'll think you're doing something good just because you're receiving a reward, such as currency or such as popularity or such as simple things like animalistic rewards, just food and so on. And with this destructive habit of putting in effort into things continuously, nonstop, just putting effort into things which you have no clue what the outcome will be, it leads to your psyche being shut down completely. Okay, it leads to you becoming a work slave. instantly, which is what or, your work organizers want, which is just your slave masters. They want you to simply give away your body to an outcome in which you have no care for. They are aware of the outcome. Okay, this is why they're the slave owner slash work organizers. They know the outcome. They want you to stay in a position of not knowing the outcome. This is explaining why so many things in our city are taking place, why so many things in our body are taking place unknowingly, why we're getting these diseases in our mind, we're getting them suddenly out of nowhere, why so many things are being destroyed constantly and being built back up constantly, non-stop, why our environments are being torn apart constantly, because consciously we are making these decisions without knowing the outcome. And when you continuously do these things, your brain shuts down and it stops caring about the outcome of things. Okay? And there's a difference between not knowing the outcome and not caring about the outcome. When you stop caring about the outcome of things, it makes you simply ignorant. You will do anything just for reward and not just for not for the outcome of your future, which destroys you over time. This is a very deadly habit. If we are simply right here working just to say that you're working, which I call the jackpot mentality. We're all here just working, hoping that by the end of the day, that you'll find this magical answer to all the problems in your life with this money that you have. You feel me? It's a jackpot. Like, oh yeah, I hit the jackpot. I actually went to work today. I gained enough money to live and survive, and I'm not going to use this money or work towards something that's actually going to have a good outcome for me. I'm just doing this in order to survive. And by surviving, I'll hit the jackpot one day and all the answers will just come to me and I'll just be magically okay. This is a poisonous mind state behind the black community right now. It's very harmful because day by day, we are putting in our efforts to something that is completely opposed to what we are consciously telling ourselves we want every day. If I were to say this to somebody right now, if I was talking to somebody beside me, they would say, I know what I'm working for. I'm working for my family. I'm working to be able to live. I'm working get my hair done. I'm working for my community. We're saying all these things, but your body and your mind, you can't tell your body that. You can't tell your mind that you're working for food. You feel me? Your body is going to automatically dis disassociate work and food together because in nature you don't have to work for food. You feel me? It just comes to you. And this is proven by how if you just look around, you can literally go to a dandelion, which is something that we see as a weed. You can go to this and you can pick it up off the ground in the springtime. You can just eat this. You can survive off this naturally. You feel me? So in our brains, when we're saying that we're working for food, it's literally it's opposing the actual work. Okay, it's opposing the things that we are naturally a part of. So these things are not stuff that you work towards. What you work towards is um idealistic things, things that you imagine that are not in reality yet, and you throw it out there and you start working for it. Like for example, our ancestors made pyramids not because that was existing already. We made that exist, you feel me? We had the idea, you initiated the goal in your mind, and you worked for it. Now, if we are constantly waking up every morning motivating ourselves based to do things that we have no idea the outcome of, it makes you psychologically ignorant to even believe in yourself. It makes you psychologically ignorant to actually be able to complete goals because you don't know that work is a part of the goal. You're thinking that work is nothing but you waking up and you going to get a check. And as this continues over time from our youth, it's very poisonous because as you get into your older years, you're supposed to be teaching your kids things like a work ethic and the process of work and how to work and what work is. And we're all being consciously um, hoaxed into believing that work is nothing but money, pretty much.